Good afternoon, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People. Today is August 25th, 2020, and I have another amazing piece of information for you guys that goes together with everything else we're watching on December 14th through the 21st. December 21st, 2020, the day of the Great Conjunction, the symbol of the war in heaven between Jupiter and Saturn, the man-child and the dragon. And this piece of information came to me through LilyPod, a comment that was left on my channel. But I had also seen this a couple days ago, and as I was putting this together with her comment, this information came together. Now, we know that there's been a comparison made between the United States and Israel based on 45 presidents, 45 kings of Israel. We know that the original colonies of the United States, there were 13 colonies, and Israel was made out of 13 tribes. We also know that there are 13 families that basically run the world. Everything can be traced back down to 13 families, 13 bloodlines. And so how is this all connected between Israel and the United States? There is a prophecy that was given to Abraham in Genesis 15. He said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward they shall come out with great substance. So the prophecy to Abram was for 400 years they would be slaves in a land not their own. Okay, it also is written in the book of Isaiah 46, Remember the former things of old, for I am God and there is none else. I am God and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, My counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. So how is the 400-year prophecy connected to the United States, and how does it connect to everything else we're watching in December? Well, look at this. December 21st, 1620. The Mayflower Pilgrims land at Plymouth Rock. They actually arrived on Cape Cod around November 20th, and they were still searching for a place to disembark, for a place to call their home, for a place to settle, and it was not until December 21st, 1620, that they disembarked at Plymouth Rock, and the first settlement began. This was the key day because this was the day they disembarked, and this was the day the settlement began. Let's read about this. On this day in 1620, William Bradford and the Mayflower Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock in Plymouth, Massachusetts. The Mayflower transported the first English pilgrims to America with 102 passengers. When the Pilgrims disembarked, they found the Plymouth colony. The Plymouth colony, along with Jamestown, Virginia, was one of the earliest successful colonies to be founded by the English in North America. The colony succeeded due to the help of Squanto, a Native American of the Patuxet people, and it was this cooperation between the Pilgrims and the Native Americans which inspires the Thanksgiving tradition in America. However, the Plymouth colony did not last long and was merged with the Massachusetts Bay Colony and others in 1691 to form the province of Massachusetts Bay. The Plymouth colony has a huge symbolic role in American history. Whilst the settlers in Jamestown were entrepreneurs, the Plymouth citizens were fleeing religious persecution and searching for a place where they could worship freely. They chose to settle in America, which has become known as the land of the free. Okay? So, 1620, December 21st. Where does 400 years bring us? This is an amazing piece of information right here, folks. 400 years to the day, with everything we are watching, the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn on the winter solstice. Okay. Marking the end of the 400 years from the very day that the Mayflower Pilgrims landed and disembarked at Plymouth Rock. December 21st, 1620, 400 years. And we are watching, I'm showing you how this is all connected. We have our 70-year timeline from 1948. The 70th Pentecost was June 4th, 2017. This coincides with the 50-year anniversary, the Jubilee year from June 5th, 1967, the Six-Day War, the retaking of Jerusalem. Here's the rebirth of Jerusalem, 70 feasts of weeks, 70 weeks are determined. 50 years, which is the year of Jubilee, coinciding here on the same day, the 70 and the 50 on the same day, starting the final 7. And the final 7 takes us from Pentecost in 2017, 1290 days, to Hanukkah, and we have a 7-day interval to the solstice. And from the solstice, which is the day of the Antichrist, the day of the war in heaven between Jupiter and Saturn, the man-child Jupiter, and Saturn is the one who devours the children. Here's the great conjunction. From this day, going 1260 days, it brings us to the end of the timeline, June 4th, 2024, from June 4th, 2017, a 7-year timeline. And this all kicks off the Great Tribulation on the winter solstice, December 21st, 2020. Well, this happens to be the exact 400-year marker from the arrival of the Pilgrims. 400 years of slavery. See, this is why there are 13 families that rule the world, because everybody works for them. Everybody serves them. Even though most people would not agree or want to accept the fact that they have simply been slaves in a system for 400 years. But that's the way it is, right? This is the way the whole system works. The total takeover, the total controlling of the economies through the Federal Reserve and through the main families that basically run everything. Okay, the 13 families, the 13 tribes, the 13 colonies. It's all connected. And so the prophecy given to Abram, we're seeing how it's connected to the United States. And here's another connection. We've seen so many connections already between Israel and the United States, and here's one more connection. 400 years from the arrival of the Pilgrims, December 21st, 1620. Okay, so this is what I've been watching. And so as we're watching a specific time frame, all these details come into focus. We're able to see clearly because we're seeing correctly. Okay? And the sign is, these signs are true. And the power of this, for example, I mean, we've got, I'm on a random day, December 21st, 2020. Okay, here's a day. And this all happens to line up exactly 400 years to the day from the beginning. of the New World when the Pilgrims arrived at Plymouth Rock? See, there's no way that any of this is a coincidence. So this is one more sign that I'm sharing with you. And okay, we're looking at Hanukkah, and we're looking at the winter solstice, the escape of the bride and the rise of the Antichrist, Hanukkah and the winter solstice, between December 14th and December 21st, 2020. I pray you guys are all blessed. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.